It's Tuesday, February 2nd, and this is your coffee break. I'm Kate Czaplinski, getting a little bit of a late start today due to some technical issues, but we're here. And it's a happy Groundhog Day for many as our Connecticut Groundhog reports an early spring on the way. But today we're following several other big stories in the region, including a large cache of drugs and guns found during a police raid, teens breaking into a Reading student's home to collect a drug debt, and much more. Rob Adams will join us with weather and a Nutmeg sports update, and Donald Eng will take a look back on this day in history. But first, on to today's news. In Bridgeport, a major cache of guns and illicit drugs were seized over the weekend by the city's Violent Crime Reduction Task Force. 30-year-old Jack Kellhofer was arrested during the police search on Aldine Avenue Saturday and charged with several felony counts. Officers say they discovered an elaborate marijuana cultivation center located in the basement of the residence, which was comprised of indoor grow tents equipped with high-intensity grow lamps, agricultural supplies, and mechanical irrigation and exhaust system. They also seized 21 guns and thousands of rounds of ammunition. In total, there were 85 marijuana plants, which were found to be separated by maturity, an additional 500+ grams of harvested marijuana, 23 bottles of anabolic steroids, and 250 tablets of human growth hormone, as well as 34 tablets of Xanax. When officers breached the door, Kellhofer was found standing in the hallway between the living room and kitchen area, and police say on the table behind him was a loaded Glock semi-automatic handgun. However, he was taken into custody without incident. 2 safes were located in the basement and found to be holding the 21 assorted handguns and rifles. When Kellhofer failed to provide investigators with the combination to one of the safes, the Bridgeport Fire Department was called to the scene to force it open with hydraulic shears. In a press conference yesterday, Bridgeport Mayor Joe Ganim said officials can't remember ever finding such a large assortment of guns during a single raid. He also applauded the work of the new task force. Take a look.
I want to compliment the entire police department and the new unit, especially the TNT unit, headed up by order or request some 4 weeks ago to have the exact impact and results that we're seeing here today. That was to have an impact on the streets in the city of Bridgeport, to take guns off the streets of the city of Bridgeport, all revolving around, as you can see, the possession, and I guess the charges include the distribution of illegal substances, most notably here marijuana and steroid. But I think the most dramatic impact is what's behind us, and to a certain extent what's in front of us, with the ammunition and this cadre of weapons, of some 23 weapons, which by and I know Sergeant Paris and the office have been on the force a long time, and the captain's been on the force for how many years? 32 years. We're both trying to remember the last time these many weapons were taken in one swoop or in any number, and I couldn't remember. I don't know if any of the officers can, but the captain couldn't. So this has got to be one of the largest single arrest results that anybody can remember. And again, this is a...
And in some other news today, an Easton teen who broke into a Churchill Road residence in Reading to collect an apparent drug debt from a teen in the home has been charged with second-degree burglary, home invasion, and threatening. The 15-year-old male suspect was turned over to the custody of his parents and ordered to appear in court later this month. His name is being withheld because of his age. Reading Police Chief Douglas Fuchs said, "We have reason to believe it was drug-related and involved in attempting to collect a debt in excess of $400 allegedly owed to him by the resident." Police said they don't know what drug this involves. The call came into the Reading Police Department from the teen in the home who dialed 911 on January 29th at about 2:30 in the afternoon to report that somebody was breaking into his house. As police were responding, the suspect broke out a rear window, entered the home, and confronted and threatened the teen resident. Police arrived and retained a number of individuals at the scene, along with the suspect. Four fled on foot. One was apprehended by a police officer at the scene, and the others were apprehended a short distance away. In total, 7 teens were apprehended in addition to the suspect. Another teen had been with the resident inside the house. Fuchs said police believe they are all Joe Barlow High School students and know each other. All of them are 15 or 16 years old, and 3 were females. Police don't have probable cause, based on the information they have to date, to believe that the 7 others knew what the suspect was there to do. As a result, the other teens have not been charged. However, police say should they learn that anyone else was involved, additional charges could be levied. Fuchs said, "We've seen an uptick in burglaries recently, but this isn't one of them," he said. "We don't have reason to believe this was connected. Rather, this was a targeted incident." You can follow more on that story at thereadingpilot.com. And Metro North is reporting that service is back to normal today following delays caused Monday when a person was struck and killed by a train. A man was fatally struck by a northbound Metro North train bound for Stamford at around 3:30 in the afternoon yesterday. Metro North says the unauthorized person on the tracks was struck near Bronx's Botanical Garden. The person's identity has not yet been released. The fatal accident came just before the evening commute, forcing the railroad to shut down key tracks so it could investigate the incident. That led to hours of delays throughout the commute. It wasn't until 10 o'clock at night that the railroad was officially reporting trains were on schedule. And in Monroe, a Waterbury man has been charged with trying to steal a large amount of beer from Big Y, leading to a scuffle. Police received 911 calls from the store a few minutes after noon on January 28th, reporting a struggle between a loss prevention officer and a shoplifting suspect. The suspect fled in a car before police arrived. Store employees said that the loss prevention officer spotted a white male suspect, later identified as 45-year-old Christopher Reardon, attempt to leave the store with 6 30-packs of beer. When asked to go to the office, Reardon attempted to leave, shoving store security out of the way. Store officials gave police a photo of Reardon's car, which police also distributed to surrounding towns. Shelton police later saw the vehicle getting onto Route 8 heading north. State police stopped the vehicle on I-84 in Waterbury. Here, Reardon was taken into custody and charged with 3rd-degree robbery, breach of peace, and 6th-degree larceny. And in New Canaan, police arrested 2 youths Friday evening, January 29th, in connection with the party at Indian Rock Road. Police had received reports from an anonymous complainant that an underage alcohol party was occurring on the property. According to police, officers who arrived at the scene shortly after 8 o'clock discovered a large group of teens in a barn on the property in the presence of a lot of alcohol. 18-year-old Victoria Worcester of the residence on Indian Rock Road was charged with allowing a minor to possess alcohol and failure to halt possession of alcohol by a minor. A 17-year-old juvenile was also charged with possession of marijuana and possession of drug paraphernalia. Police say the investigation of the youth party is ongoing and may lead to additional arrests or invitations to attend a new diversionary program, which is designed to give other youths who were present at the party a choice of either attending a substance abuse educational program with their parents or facing possible charges. But we're going to switch gears now and throw it over to Rob Adams for a look at today's forecast. Rob?
All right, Kate, we have a sunny day with a high in the 40s, and the wind not a problem, 5 to 7, becoming calm in the afternoon. Slight chance of showers after 4 tonight into tomorrow morning, and increasing clouds with a low 34. And the wind fairly calm, but the chance of precipitation only 20%. Wednesday, it's going to be rainy pretty much all day. Showers and patchy fog with a high in the upper 40s, maybe even into the low 50s. The wind will be a little bit of an issue, 10 to 15 miles per hour out of the east, becoming south in the afternoon. And the winds could gust as high as 26 miles per hour, 100% chance of precipitation. That will roll into Wednesday night, patchy fog into Thursday morning, and the low around 43. The wind out of the south from 6 to 16 could gust as high as 28. And looking like a good inch or more of rain could fall with this system. Keep an eye on that. Thursday, chance of showers mainly before 9 in the morning. Otherwise, we're going to be partly sunny, high near 50, upper 40s looking like. Partly cloudy and 29 for Thursday night, 39 and sunny for Friday. Your weekend, not bad. Mostly sunny, 43 and 41 right on through to Super Bowl Sunday. Around the region right now, we have 42 in Ridgefield. New Canaan has 46 and Shelton 44 degrees. Kate?
All right, thanks so much, Rob. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Donald Dang takes a look back on this day in history. Rob has a Nutmeg sports update, and we have some more news coming up after this.
Had a sports injury that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist quickly. Their highly trained orthopedic professionals expertly treat you without an appointment. Skiing, snowboard, or sports accident, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk. Call 203-845-2070 or coastalorthoexpress.com. Find them on Facebook at Coastal Ortho CT.
Darien Sport Shop is a unique store because it's a family store. A busy mom can come in with kids in tow and find everything she needs for them, and even find a dress for herself for Saturday night. And if she's in a rush, she can simply go home and order it from us that night. We'll deliver it the next day. The Darien Sport Shop. We're pretty on the outside and amazing on the inside. Conveniently located with free and easy parking at 1127 Post Road, Darien, Connecticut. Or shop us online at dariensport.com.
It's the new year. The to-do list is long and it's easy to feel pulled in many directions at once. Your professional personal shoppers at Walter Stewart's are ready to check groceries off your list by shopping for you. Save extra time this year and spend it doing more important things. Great food and wine delivered to your home with the same-day service. Shop Stewart's online at stewartsmarket.com.
In Pound Ridge since 1993, the Wine Connection is one of America's best wine shops. Visit our beautiful store for the greatest in wine and knowledgeable service. With wonderful values from around the world to collectibles for your cellar, we are your one-stop source. Visit our online shop at wineconn.com and make sure to sign up for email updates. With great offers, new arrivals, and special events, don't miss all the action at the Wine Connection, including tastings every weekend. The Wine Connection, located at 32 Westchester Avenue, Pound Ridge, New York.
While there's still a bite out on the water, most anglers have decided to stow the gear for the winter. Just because Mother Nature isn't cooperating doesn't mean you can't see the latest models of all your favorite gear. With 2 convenient locations, it couldn't be easier to get your fix of summer. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
Hi, I'm Rob Adams with my good friend Donald Eng, and we're the home team for Nutmeg Sports, Monday through Wednesday at 2 o'clock right here on the HAN Network. We are the place for all things Connecticut sports, so come hang out with us on Nutmeg Sports. Don? They don't call him the best color man in the game for nothing. Nutmeg Sports, 2 o'clock, Monday through Wednesday right here on the HAN Network.
We're back on this Tuesday, February 2nd edition of your Coffee Break on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, and it's time to throw it over to Donald Eng, who's going to take a look back on this day in history. Check it out.
We all know dogs can save lives with their senses of smell and hearing, and sometimes just by being good companions. But save an entire town? Well, it actually happened. But first, to 1653, New Amsterdam incorporated as a Dutch colony at the southern tip of Manhattan Island. The town was renamed New York in 1664 in honor of the then Duke of York, later King James II of England, in whose name the English had captured it. 1709, Alexander Selkirk rescued after being shipwrecked on an island, inspiring the 1719 book Robinson Crusoe by Daniel Defoe. By the way, Robinson Crusoe is the abridged version of the title. The full title is The Life and Strange Surprising Adventures of Robinson Crusoe of York, Mariner, who lived 28 years all alone in an uninhabited island on the coast of America near the mouth of the great river of the Orinoco, having been cast on shore by shipwreck, wherein all the men perished but himself, with an account how he was at last strangely delivered by pirates. Robinson Crusoe actually works better. It fits on the binding more. 1876. The National League of Professional Baseball Clubs of Major League Baseball is formed. The charter members, the Chicago White Stockings, the Philadelphia Athletics, the Boston Red Stockings, the Hartford Dark Blues, Mutual of New York, the St. Louis Brown Stockings, the Cincinnati Red Stockings, and the Louisville Grays. Not entirely sure what color stockings the Grays wore. In 1887, Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, the first modern celebration of Groundhog Day. The day had been observed by various Pennsylvania German groundhog lodges for years, but Clyde Fremer, the editor of the Punxsutawney Spirit, proclaimed the town's groundhog to be the official groundhog. In case you're keeping score at home, Punxsutawney Phil has seen his shadow 102 years out of 119. And finally we go to 1925, a canine hero. The Serum Run to Nome. Dog sleds reached Nome, Alaska on this day in 1925 with diphtheria serum, inspiring the Iditarod race. 20 mushers carried the serum container 650 miles in 5 days. That video you saw was of Gunnar Kaysen and his team led by Balto the Husky. They carried the serum the final 54 miles to Nome through minus 23-degree temperatures and gale force winds in the dark. With visibility so poor, Kaysen said he could not see the end of his sled. Balto would go on to become a national hero. The statue of him was erected in Central Park in December of 1925, and he was actually present for it. That is your look back in history, and I am Donald Eng.
All right, thanks to Don. But now it's time to throw it over to Rob for a Nutmeg Sports Update. Rob.
Thank you, Kate. The question of the night was if the Fairfield Co-op could hang with the top-seeded Darien Blue Wave in boys ice hockey. The answer? Oh, yes, they can. They can do just fine. The next question, could the Mustangs beat the Blue Wave? Let's check out the highlights. Gazzetta collects it out of the corner, back to the top of the left circle. The blast coming. Oh, it's loose and it goes in!
Fairfield got exactly what they wanted. They got the Darien three-man team out there, the three-man penalty kill, on the shift, on the move, and then they get the traffic right in front of David Voigt, and they get the deflection, it lifts up, and the puck gets just enough momentum to get across the goal line.
3 minutes gone here, second period, 1-0. Fairfield on top, the Jake Fuss goal holding on so far, but here's the tie! Brown to tie it up!
And that all starts at the other end in the neutral zone. A poor change there by Fairfield. Screws them up in transition and allows Darien to go off the other way.
Thrown on net and deflected off into the corner. Kept in at the right point. That's loose again and they score! Fairfield able to answer 2-1.
Rob, that's the only shot Fairfield has taken in this period, and they were able to put it in net.
Well, our perspective here. Here are the Blue Wave chipping it through. It's loose and trying to climb the ladder and held on to by Grace. The best look came for Riley Mullen that time as they attacked with Herbie Hazelton and Max Romine as well. 5:28 to go second period, 2-1 Fairfield.
Darien in the last few minutes getting some good pressure in on Fairfield, really making Grace work.
To Berardinis near the hash marks, sends it back up top into the left circle, over there Knowlton. Knowlton on net and he scores! A power play goal for Sam Knowlton knots us at 2. Hazelton feeds it ahead to the Berardinis, back to Knowlton. Knowlton, who tied it up with a goal before, chipped along and he scores!
Frank had a great view of it. From what it sounded like he went off the right post and squeezed it through.
Well, he did beat him on the short side. I wasn't sure if it caught a piece of the post or not, but what a nasty toe drag right in the slot, especially from the senior defenseman, showing off the hands and then the ability to finish. And the Blue Wave are back on top, 3-2.
Gazzetta collects. Last night, Darien picked up the 4-2 win. The Mustangs opened a 1-0 lead on Jake Fuss's goal at 12:10 of the first. Ben Brown tied it, but Jack McCormick gave the Mustangs the lead back in the second. Sam Knowlton scored twice for the Wave to give Darien the lead for good. Herbie Hazelton's third period goal ended the night, and Mike Grace of Fairfield all but stood on his head. 40 saves in the loss. The Wave outshot the Mustangs 44-17. Two other scores from boys ice hockey. The Staples West and Shelton Co-op, a 3-0 shutout win over East Haven. Hamden, a big 2-1 win over Greenwich in overtime. Now we switch over to girls ice hockey. And New Canaan got 4 goals from Catherine Granito, 5 points total, as the Rams walloped the Ridgefield Tigers 7-0. Let's take a look at the highlights from last night in Game 1 of the doubleheader. And here's Granito starting back. Catherine Granito with a nice feed ahead to Gianna Bruno. Bruno almost all alone, puts it on net and scores.
Excellent rush for Gianna Bruno.
Small crowd on hand tonight, but a few folks applauding for the work of Gleason. Now on net, and they score. First. Right circle now, cross ice for the one-timer from Granito. A blast, and it's 3-0.
Unbelievable play for New Canaan.
But nobody home. In fact, it was a Ram to clear the zone. Catherine Granito gets across the Ridgefield line, kind of puts on the brakes near the top of the left circle. Now dances away, goes top shelf, and scores. So in theory, Frank, Granito from Eccleston?
That is correct. It's Granito from Eccleston. She picks up the natural hat trick.
There you have it. I didn't bring any hats with me. 2.5 to go in the first. 4-0 now. 3 for Granito in the first period, and the Tigers just look out of sorts. And here's Granito. Also scored for the Rams. Also, Fairfield in an in-town matchup knocked off Notre Dame of Fairfield 5-2. Maris Estevez hit 2 goals for the Mustangs. From boys basketball, Danbury by 19 over Wilton 69-50. Greenwich a 6-point win over Ward. It was Trumbull over Norwalk 68-40 as Jack Moore goes off for 35 for the Eagles. Stanford 46, West Hill 38. St. Joseph over McMahon 84-73. Staples 48, Ludlow 35. Ridgefield over New Canaan 56-44. From girls hoops, Wilton a 20-point win on Danbury. Ward over Greenwich by 3 in one of the big games of the night there. Trumbull by 15 over Norwalk. Stanford 75, West Hill 35. Ludlow over Staples 52-34. Trinity Catholic beat Central. It was Ridgefield over New Canaan 63-23, and St. Joseph over McMahon 56-36. One last note for you. The Stanford High School varsity cheerleaders took first place at their first competition of the season, which was held at Newtown High School back on January 27th. They were also named grand champions of the event, and to that end, congrats to them. We will have cheerleading right here on the HAN Network Saturday morning at 11 o'clock. It's the 2016 FCAC Championships. Very light schedule to wrap things up. In boys ice hockey, Ridgefield and Norwalk McMahon at the Sono Ice House tonight at 8:50. Stanford West Hill Staples takes on Darien at the Darien Ice Rink at 8:30. In girls ice hockey, so a couple of late games tonight. Wrestling, it's Ridgefield at West Hill, New Canaan home for Wilton, gymnastics Ludlow at Daniel Handon, and boys swimming and diving, the Fairfield Co-op at Bunnell Stratford at 6. With sports, I'm Rob Adams. Kate, back over to you.
All right, thanks so much, Rob. Well, getting back to a little more news today. In Easton, a 12-year-old youth reported missing last Friday after being dropped off by a school bus driver at his house was found in the woods more than 3 hours later. The boy was treated for mild hypothermia and a mild sprained ankle, but was otherwise okay, police said. School administrators called the Easton Police Department January 29th at about 4:15 in the afternoon to report the student was missing. The bus driver remembered the child getting off the bus and walking up the driveway toward his house. Officer Tamra French and Officer Donald Kinahan immediately began a search and requested canine assistance from the Monroe Police Department. The Easton Volunteer Fire Department assisted with thermal imaging cameras, and surrounding towns were notified. Soon after, Fairfield officers arrived to help with the search, along with officers from Weston and Westport. Evidence showed footprints into the woods and through several icy areas where footprints had broken through the ice and into the water, which was approximately 1 to 2 feet deep. Tracks continued along the Aspetuck River. A Weston officer found the boy in the area of Reading Road at about 7:30 that night. The Easton Volunteer Emergency Medical Service treated him for mild hypothermia and the sprained ankle. The boy said he was afraid his parents would be mad at him because the school had called that day. The Easton Police Department said that it would like to thank all of the officers from other departments who helped in the search, and you can get more on that story at eastoncourier.com. And according to the Ridgefield Press this morning, word has been received of the death of Mark Solomon, who was the Scotland Elementary School principal from 2004 to 2014. Solomon, who retired in 2014 after 45 years in education, died Monday at his home. In announcing Solomon's death, Scotland School Principal Michael Sheehan noted that Solomon leaves a strong legacy at Scotland, from the Happy School painting he commissioned to the ADA-compliant playground he helped create, to his love of math and arts. Funeral details had not yet been released, but you can get more details at theridgefieldpress.com. And in Wilton, the first day of school for public school students next fall will be Tuesday, September 6th. This comes after the Board of Education voted to approve a revised school calendar for the 2016-17 school year during its January 28th meeting. Superintendent Kevin Smith first presented the revised calendar to the board back in December after the Miller-Driscoll Building Committee put in a request to change the start date in order to provide the renovation project as much time this summer as possible to work on while the kids aren't in the building. All right, but we're going to step out for another break, and when we come back, we're going to recap some of the top stories in the region that we're following today. That's coming up on your coffee break after this.
I really wanted something that felt like a home. Coming from a big house, I wanted the feel of a home as opposed to a condo. The construction is incredible, whether it's the floors, the fireplace, the moldings, the lighting. It's as peaceful as my home was in the middle of the woods. It feels like a house. It does not feel like a condo or a townhome. I feel like I'm in my house.
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332 and online at stratfordsmile.com.
Find over 1,000 special stories at Hospital for Special Surgery. Go to hss.edu/backinthegame.
I was jogging 5 months after my cartilage tear.
Skiing a year after hip surgery.
And playing grandma 4 weeks after hip replacement.
One special hospital, 1,000 special stories. See Connecticut patients at hss.edu/CT.
I'm John Kovach. I'm a newspaper editor. I'm a high school football coach. I'm a television presenter. And I want you to love fishing as much as I do. Tune in to Yankee Fisherman, Thursdays at 1 on the HAN network. It's like going to the tackle shop without leaving your office.
You are watching the HAN network, and you're not alone. Nearly 500,000 viewers enjoyed our broadcasts in the first 5 months. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Jessica Murrin, Advertising Director, at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
And we're back on this Tuesday edition of your coffee break on the HAN network. I'm Kate Czaplinski, recapping some of the top stories we're following today. In Bridgeport, a major cache of guns and illicit drugs were seized over the weekend by the city's Violent Crime Reduction Task Force. 30-year-old Jack Kellhofer was arrested during the police search on Aldine Avenue Saturday and charged with several felony counts. Officers say they discovered an elaborate marijuana cultivation center located in the basement of the home, which was comprised of indoor grow tents equipped with high-intensity grow lamps, agricultural supplies, and mechanical irrigation and exhaust system. They also seized 21 guns and thousands of rounds of ammunition. In total, police say there were 85 marijuana plants, which were found to be separated by maturity. An additional 500 plus grams of harvested marijuana, 23 bottles of anabolic steroids, 250 tablets of human growth hormone, and 34 tablets of Xanax. When officers breached the door of the home, Kellhofer was found standing in the hallway between the living room and kitchen area, and on the table behind him was a loaded Glock semi-automatic handgun, police said. However, he was taken into custody without incident. 2 safes were located in the basement of the home and found to be holding the 21 assorted handguns and rifles, as well as the ammunition. When Kellhofer failed to provide investigators with the combination to one of the safes, the Bridgeport Fire Department was called to the scene, and it forced it open using hydraulic shears. Yesterday, Bridgeport Mayor Joe Ganim said officials can't remember ever finding such a large assortment of guns during a single raid. He also applauded the work of the new task force. And an Easton teen who broke into a Churchill Road residence in Reading to collect an apparent drug debt from another teen has been charged with second-degree burglary, home invasion, and threatening. The 15-year-old male suspect was turned over to the custody of his parents and ordered to appear in court later this month. His name was withheld because of his age, but Reading Police Chief Douglas Fuchs said, "We have reason to believe it was drug-related and involved attempting to collect a debt in excess of $400 allegedly owed to him by the resident." The call came into the police department from the teen resident of the home who had dialed 911 at about 2:30 p.m. on January 29th to report that somebody was breaking into the house. As police were responding, the suspect broke out a rear window, entered the house, and confronted and threatened the teen. Police arrived and retained a number of individuals at the scene along with the suspect. 4 people fled on foot, 1 was apprehended by a police officer at the scene, and others were apprehended a short distance away. In total, 7 teens were apprehended in addition to the suspect. Another teen had been with the resident inside the house at the time of the incident. Fuchs said police believe they are all Joe Barlow High School students and know each other. All of them are 15 or 16 years old, and 3 of them were females. Police don't have probable cause based on the information they have to date to believe that the 7 other teens knew what the suspect was there to do. As a result, the other teens have not been charged. However, should police learn that anyone else was involved, additional charges could be levied. You can get more on that story at theridgefieldpress.com. And in Monroe, a Waterbury man has been charged with trying to steal a large amount of beer from Big Y, leading to a scuffle. Police received 911 calls from the store a few minutes after noon on January 28th, reporting a struggle between a loss prevention officer and a shoplifting suspect. The suspect fled in the car before police arrived. Store employees said the loss prevention officer spotted a white male suspect, later identified as 45-year-old Christopher Reardon, attempt to leave the store with 6 30-packs of beer. When asked to go back to the office, Reardon attempted to leave, shoving store security out of the way. Store officials gave police a photo of Reardon's car, which police distributed to surrounding towns. Shelton police later saw the vehicle getting onto Route 8 heading north. State police then stopped his car on I-84 in Waterbury, and Reardon was taken into custody, charged with 3rd-degree robbery, breach of peace, and 6th-degree larceny. And in some lighter news today, who needs Puxatawney Phil when you have Beardsley Bart? Well, Beardsley Bart, Connecticut's own prognosticating prairie dog, came out early this morning to share his weather forecast with a small gathering of friends. Bart's closest confidant, Greg Dancho, who is the director of Connecticut's Beardsley Zoo, served as his interpreter. Dancho said that Beardsley Bart is a very early riser, and when he came out this morning, he confirmed that he did not see his shadow. He's happy to report that spring is just around the corner, and he looks forward to all of his friends visiting him soon. Connecticut's Beardsley Zoo, of course, is open daily from 9 to 4. Adult admission is $14, children and seniors $11. So definitely check it out. Our friends at the Beardsley Zoo, they do a great job there. Rob, I know we've visited them before. Hope to make it back sometime.
So much fun to go
Yeah.
there, even with the snake. But yeah, it's really a lot of fun there. I had a good time, so I'm looking forward to doing it again. And so we've got Beardsley Bart, we've got Staten Island Chuck, we've got, of course, Punxsutawney Phil. I'm liking what I'm hearing from these guys.
Yeah, it's all good news so far. But you tell us what's in the forecast, the immediate forecast for now, Rob.
We will do so. We've got a sunny day, high in the upper 40s, with the wind not bad, north 5 to 7, becoming calm in the afternoon. Tonight, slight chance of showers after 4 tomorrow morning, increasing clouds, and the low in the lower 30s. To Wednesday, showers and rain pretty much all day, upwards of an inch, maybe even more rain. High in the low 50s, upper 40s, but with the wind, I think it's still going to feel kind of chilly, so keep that in mind. East wind 10 to 15. Gusts as high as 26, chance of precipitation 100%. That will continue into Wednesday night. Then we'll get patchy fog thrown in as well to the mix, so it's just going to be a really messy day. Thursday, chance of showers mainly before 9 in the morning. We're going to hit right around the upper 40s, maybe even 50. Thursday night, partly cloudy, low 29. The weekend, not bad, upper 30s, low 40s, looking sunny pretty much all weekend. Your temperatures, Ridgefield up to 43. New Canaan staying put at 46, and right here in Shelton, 44 degrees. I'll see you for Nutmeg Sports at 2. No games until Thursday, the Track and Field Championship here on the HAN Network.
All right, little break for you guys, much deserved. So Nutmeg Sports at 2 and the Drive with Denise coming up today at 12:30. But that does it for this edition of your coffee break. We'll see you tomorrow at 11. Have a great Tuesday, everyone.